Hello everyone, this is Bola Shokumbi. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So this video is a continuation of our investing series. My last video was about how to get started with investing. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about top tips for beginner investors. Stay tuned to the end of this video because I will be sharing with you how to get access to the Clever Girl Finance roadmap. This is our step-by-step guide to equip you with the knowledge and confidence to help you as you work on building your own financial plan. So let's get into this video on my top tips for beginner investors. So when it comes to starting out with investing, there are a few things you want to keep in mind, and I'll be going over those tips in this video. Number one, you want to focus on the economy of you. So as you look at the big picture of your personal finances, before you start investing, there are a couple of questions you want to ask yourself. Do you have an emergency fund in place? If you don't, then you should start one. Do you have any high interest debt you need to pay off? If you do, then you need to have a plan to pay off that debt. What are your goals and your objectives? What are the things that you want to accomplish over the long term that investing can help you do? These are all things that you want to consider when you think about your investing decisions. Number two, you're going to need to educate yourself. So essentially, before you put any of your hard-earned money, because you work really hard for your money, into any kind of investments, you need to have an understanding about what the investment is, how it works, and what it's going to cost you. So take the time out to start reading books, spend some time talking to experts, take a course if you need to, pick up your phone and call your brokerage or have an in-person consultation with a financial advisor and get an understanding of what you're investing in and make sure that you're comfortable before you make any actual investments. Number three, create a plan to pay off debt and to save for a rainy day. So if you have high interest debt, it makes sense to create a plan to aggressively pay off that debt before you start to ramp up on your investing. And this is because with high interest debt, in many instances, the cost of the debt from interest can far outweigh any gains that you make on your investments. You also want to make sure that you have an emergency fund in place to help you weather life's unexpected changes, right? So for instance, if you lose your job or you need to have an emergency car repair, this way you can leave your investments alone, right? Because investing is for the long term. The last thing you want to do is to cash out your investments during a down market because you were not prepared for an emergency. Number four, you want to make sure that you have a plan for the short term. So like I said, investing is for the long term. So if you have any short-term goals like saving for a home, saving to buy a car or to start a business or for school, you don't want to be investing that money. You want to have that money available and accessible as you save for those goals so that when you are ready to achieve that goal, like buy that home or purchase that car, you need the money for it, you have it available and not tied to any investments. Number five, you want to determine your risk tolerance. How much risk can you tolerate as an investor? So when you invest your money, right, you take on the risk that you could potentially lose some or even all of your money. However, you have to be strategic when you invest by determining what kind of investments you put your money into based on your risk tolerance. So it's a good idea to determine if you're an aggressive investor, conservative, a mix of the two, and this will help you make the right choices when it comes to picking the investments to put your money in. The best thing for you is to be able to sleep well at night while your money is working hard for you. And the worst thing is to be stressed out and anxious because you're so bothered by what's happening to your money because you don't know your risk tolerance. So knowing your risk tolerance is a really important part of being a good and confident investor. Number six, you want to make sure that you have a good understanding of any fees associated with your investments. So there are different types of fees that could come with your investments, right? There could be brokerage commissions, which are the commissions you pay when you buy or sell an investment in the stock market. There could be account maintenance fees, which are fees that are charged once a year or every few months to maintain your account by your brokerage company. Or there could be advisory fees, which are fees that you pay to have a consultation with a financial advisor or for a financial advisor to manage your portfolio. So it's a good idea to know what these fees are and also understand their costs in relation to how it impacts your overall portfolio. Number 7, you want to invest in funds as opposed to individual stocks. And so if you are a beginner investor, right, there's a lot of things that you may still be learning or not understand. And the last thing you want to do is put all your eggs in one basket by investing in an individual company stock. You want to make sure that your investments are well diversified and they're spread across a broad range of investments in different companies. When you invest your money in funds versus individual stocks, you're allowing your money to be diversified accordingly, and you give yourself peace of mind. And as you become a more confident investor, as you learn more, as you educate yourself more, you can consider investing in individual stocks, but do that with caution. And always remember that you want to have a well-diversified portfolio. And that leads me into point number 8, on the topic of diversification. And so when you're investing in funds, you want to make sure that you are still very well diversified. So for instance, you might be investing in a fund that invests in multiple different companies, but they might all be in the same industry sector, right? So you want to make sure that as you invest, your portfolio is built up of funds that are invested across multiple industry sectors and spaces. That way, if one industry sector, for instance, technology or healthcare or retail, is not doing that well, then you have your other investments in other sectors to act as a buffer for your entire portfolio. So diversification is really, really key. So when it comes to diversification, I like to invest in index funds, specifically a total market index fund. And what a total market index fund does is it invests your money across the overall stock market, which means that your money is also invested in a variety of industry sectors. And that is great diversification. Number 9, you want to make sure that you're rebalancing your portfolio according to your goals and objectives. So if you need your money in 20 years versus if you need it in 10 years, you're going to need to have a strategy to make your portfolio more conservative as you reach that goal. So always keep in mind what your objectives are. That way you know how to rebalance your portfolio accordingly. And if you're having any trouble, again, go back to educating yourself on how investing works. Go back to your goals and objectives. And if necessary, be sure to sit with a financial professional to guide you through. And finally, number 10, as a beginner investor, it's important to keep in mind that investing is for the long term. Do not try to time the market. And also, you don't want to freak out or start to sell when you see things happening in the stock market short term. So for instance, if we go into a recession or there is news about a specific industry sector that causes the value of your investment to fall, do not panic. And I will reiterate back to my earlier point that as a beginner investor, knowledge is power. So again, start to educate yourself, pick up a book, and if necessary, seek professional assistance with creating your financial plan, especially when it comes to your investments. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tell all your girlfriends and colleagues and family and friends. And be sure to head over to Clever Finance to get access to our roadmap, which is our step-by-step guide to help you as you work on improving your finances. It's going to guide you through everything from paying off debt to saving to investing and creating a solid financial plan for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching.